So the Dallas Mavericks have finally done it. They have done what we thought should have been done months and months ago, but has now, it's now finally happened. It has now finally happened. We have seen Nico Harrison get fired. It's about effing time. That's all I'm going to say, is it is about time that Nico Harrison is no longer there as a as the GM of the Dallas Mavericks, because it was getting bad. Like it had gotten really bad. Like, obviously, look, the fans hate him. There's no way in hell that Patrick Dumont is a fan of him right now. Like, could you imagine if you're Patrick Dumont, like, oh, our fans fucking hate us. What is going on here? And people being like, oh no, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. It's like, no, it is that big of a deal. Our fans despise us. Our fans literally don't want anything to do with us as an organization anymore. I bought this team expecting, the fans to give a damn about our team. And they just don't. They just don't. But again, it is an interesting one to see here. What's happening all around with Dallas, because obviously Nico Harrison going from the Mavs is a big thing. And it is crazy to think the Paige Beckers might be doing a fucking player in Dallas. Actually, I say that, but that's wrong. No. Everything's bigger in Texas, and this current version of Anthony Davis might be the biggest version of biggest thing in Dallas right now. Like, we're looking at a man slowly turning into tractor trailer by the day. But I don't know, that's going too far with it. But no, like, Anthony Davis is absolutely just not who they signed. Like, he was not the player that they wanted to sign. And look, I don't think any GM would survive what has happened from this trade. Like, the fact that he's lasted this long is a miracle. It is, for me, it's a miracle, the fact that he has lasted till 2020. Like, he lasted nearly the entirety of the year. The fact that he lasted an offseason, maybe they just wanted to give him an offseason to think, you know what, before we go and fire him, let's give him an offseason to see what he does. And, like, he didn't really do anything in the offseason other than take the obvious number 1 overall pick, who, by the way, is all right. Like, I don't think Cooper Flagg's a bad player. Like, I've been kind of negative on Cooper Flagg, but I just don't. My logic with Cooper Flagg is that, like, he's not that guy. He's a guy. He's a good guy, but he's not that guy. Like, he's not going to be. Like, people are saying he was the real prize in the Luka sweepstakes. Like, okay, yeah, then you got to be Luka. You got to be Luka, or you got to have Luka potential, and he doesn't have Luka potential. He's got, like, the Michael Jordan of Andrei Kirilenko's potential. That's kind of what he's probably going to be. Like, American Denny Avdia. Like, that's not what they signed up for. A slightly better and American Denny Avdia. Like, that player is. Like, wouldn't be that pissed off if you're getting that player. But, like, if you drafted that player at, like, 3, or even if you drafted him at 2 in the draft, you'd be delighted with Cooper Flagg. And maybe if it wasn't the fact that, like, they called him generational. Cooper Flagg was the furthest thing from generational. Like, he was getting Andrei Kirilenko comps, and they were calling him a generational fucking prospect. Like, there hasn't been a generational prospect. Wemby was generational. Luka was generational as a prospect. Shea might end up being a generational player, but as a prospect, Zion was Zion was like, we'd never seen it before. And in fairness, we've had a couple of them, and then I don't think we had a generational prospect between Zion, between Luka and who was the last one really before Luka? Like, maybe like the KD Oden year. Maybe the KD Oden year, if we're being completely honest. Because I don't think Anthony Davis was generational. But yeah, it's a tough one. It is a tough one when you trade your generational prospect, who was the franchise, who took over from Dirk, Like, you had Dirk for however long you had Dirk for, and then it's like, okay, yeah, we've lost Dirk, okay, but it doesn't really matter because we have Luka. Okay, yeah, cool. We have the best European player of all time. When he retired, he's the best European player of all time. And okay, so we're gonna get a guy that by 25 years old is already one of the 5 greatest European players of all time. Like, European NBA players of all time. Like Dirk, Luka, Giannis, Jokic, and probably Pau, the 5 greatest. Maybe, yeah, probably Pau. But still, I'm putting Dirk over Mark, and I love Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol's the greatest player in his franchise history. But then again, that's the thing. It would be like if you traded Dirk after, let's just say, after the 2006 playoffs. There's a lot of people saying, oh, like, what happened in the finals, it was Luka's fault. But could you imagine if they blamed Dirk in 2006 and decided to trade him for Ben Wallace? Like, it would be some bullshit like that. I'm just trying to think or Jermaine O'Neal. They traded him for, I was about to say, I was like, Ben Wallace couldn't really do anything on offense. And was a slightly better defender than AD. It would be like if they traded him for Jermaine O'Neal in 2006. Like, that's just one of those things where I'm just always in shock. Always in shock about what's going on. And look, Nico Harrison will never get another job in the NBA again. He will never get another job. And obviously on a personal level, I don't know the guy. Like, all the people attacking him personally, I think that's obviously gone too far. But he was terrible at his job. I think it's completely fine to boo Nico Harrison when you're in the arena. It's the Fire Nico chants are fine. I have no issue with a Fire Nico chant. Obviously, if you're going further than that, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, just don't. Nothing personal ever. But at the end of the day, it's like, fans are well within their rights to be pissed at a GM that does whatever the hell Nico Harrison did. And look, I think Nico Harrison is done. I'm going to be honest. I think he's done. I don't see him ever really working in the NBA again. Maybe he'll get his job back at Nike and he will call Seth Curry again. Maybe he'll have a deal with Nike and he'll try pitch a huge thing for Amen Thompson and call him Asar. Like, I don't know. Maybe he'll make the mistake that I always make because I'm doing WNBA content and call the Dallas Mavericks the Dallas Wings. I don't know. Maybe he wants to go and start a podcast. If you want to go start a podcast, I mean, that's something I definitely need. Like, I'll help you set up your own YouTube channel if you want. If you want, obviously I'm not cheap, but I'll do it. But yeah, it is what it is. Like, Nico Harrison is going to be fired, and I don't think any Mavs fan is going to be annoyed by that. I think every single Mavs fan is going to be happy by this. Makes no sense to keep him on his job. That's pretty much it, lads. I'll see you guys.